Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming and welcome to another video. Gonna be a quick one for you today. In the background I'm doing a nice tier 12 Blighted map. I've got reduced tower cost on there. As you can see, it's always nice to be able to use some oils and pump that up. And I am going to be showing that, and I'm also going to be thanking you all for 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for helping me reach 5,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. This is overwhelming to me. That's a lot more than I had expected to reach in the time that I've reached it, and it's all thanks to you guys. So once again, I'd just like to extend my thank you, and I am also going to give a few tips in this video just to kind of, make it some substance, not all just a quick thank you and whatnot. And if you have an idea for something you want me to do as a celebration for 5,000 subscribers, I was thinking potentially in the future of doing a 5-hour stream for a 5,000 subscriber celebration. We'll have to see how the performance issues go. I've been having a lot, especially while streaming, so I haven't been able to stream recently, but I could certainly try it, and I could definitely do it while leveling a new character, perhaps a solo self-found or even a hardcore character. So let me know what you think about that in the description below. I'm just going to give a couple of tips then. First one's going to be a money-making tip, and this one is to watch out for components to items that sell for much less than the item itself. And what I mean by that is I was looking up vendor recipes because I wanted to get an Arborix for my miner that you're seeing in the background. I switched to an Arborix as it still fires 2 additional projectiles, and I like the defensive mechanic for it, and it also deals a great deal more damage than the bow I was previously using. So I looked at it and I'm like, oh, Arborixes are going for a minimum of 20 chaos, and the higher rolled ones are going for multiple exalts. However, I noticed that I could just make one myself using a Grellwood Shank, one of which I already had, and a Bell Timber Blade. So I'm like, okay, well, it can't be more than 20 chaos to buy a Bell Timber Blade, right? So I look it up. It's actually 3 chaos. So I'm like, wow, that's a lot cheaper than the Arborix. I go and I check the Grellwood Shank, and you can get them as low as 5 chaos currently. So you can potentially buy, and the recipe is Grellwood Shank, Bell Timber Blade, and Orb of Fusing to make an Arborix. So for a potential 8 chaos, as little as 8 chaos, you can make a minimum 20 chaos bow. And there's some other examples of this. I've noticed the same thing with Kingmaker last league. Is Soul Taker and Heartbreaker combined with an Orb of Fusing at a vendor will make a Kingmaker, which was a great starter weapon for Cycloners. And they were actually selling for much, much less than the Kingmaker itself. So looking into this kind of stuff is a great opportunity to make a lot of chaos. In the particular case, there's a bunch of other stuff you can use as well, like Loreweave, Magna Eclipse, or Eclipsis possibly. So look into the vendor recipes on the PoE wiki. I'll leave a link for that in the description below, and check that out. Possibly opportunity. You can do the same thing with divination cards. Sometimes divination card, say for example, they take 5 divination cards to make an item. That item is 60 chaos, and each divination card is less than 12 chaos. Well, you can just buy the divination cards up, say they're 9 chaos or something, and you can make 3 chaos per divination card there. Can make it quite a good profit. Another tip I want to give is to use the site poe.ninja. I've been using that a lot for as long as I've known it's existed. And one of the things you can do, if you're making a build, you can find the build in the main skills section. You can click on whichever skill you want to use. Say you want to be an icicle miner. Not only will it show you the most commonly used items for that build, but you can click in the upper right hand corner, or not quite corner, but right above the characters, and it'll say show passive tree heat map. You can look at that and you can see which are the most commonly used passives for each kind of character you want to build. And that'll give you a very strong idea of what you want to go as far as for your character. So it can help guide your decisions as far as building the character, and it can be very useful. And then you can look to the left on items and see exactly what kind of uniques you want to use. So this can be very powerful, and if you want to look for something more specific, it also will sort by default by level. You can click DPS, look at DPS. Some people make builds that aren't particularly viable just to have a high score on DPS, and you can do the same thing for life, energy shield, and the depth. And the depth, of course, is the mine depth for the delve, so you can check those out. Very nice. And in the upper right, the top right, the very top right, you can sort it by hardcore and solo self-found as well, so you can get a lot of interesting perspective and even look at builds from last league. So I would highly recommend that, but that's not the only thing you can use it for. You can also look at current prices for currency and other items such as uniques and divination cards. This can be really useful for tracking these things over time. Divine orbs and exalts are two things I like to keep track of because I tend to invest on them in the early league and then sell them a little later on. But you can kind of see the historical price of everything as well. It's kind of like a little mini stock market for you and can help you make decisions. Another thing I'd highly recommend, and that's going to be pretty much it. I just wanted to give a couple of quick tips. If there's still some map footage here, I'll let that play out. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. And thank you again. Bye!